Any actual natural bodybuilder knows you cannot rush a cut. I've cut naturally before, have to go extremely slowly, have to keep that food ramped, and really you should be utilizing cardio to create that caloric deficit. What is up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Be sure to subscribe with the bell on, but first, got an ASMR sip for you guys. 1907, coupon code Russo. Best gym water. Check it out in the description below. ASMR spritz time. I'm doing it from a distance on my ear. Check out Intelligent Elephant Carbon. Coupon code Russo. I'll leave you with one more noise. Today I'm going to be talking about Natties should dirty bulk. Change my mind in the comments below. And we need some lifetime Natties to weigh in. I'm thinking about how I would become, with my given genetics, the biggest Natty for life possible specimen without using any enhancement whatsoever. No Turk, no nothing. Now, if I was given this predicament, what would I do? I would dirty bulk, not in a sense of like eating donuts and shit, not dirty bulk in that sense, but I would push the calories hard and I would do cardio after every single workout to keep my metabolism firing. But I would probably scale up over the course of a 5-year surplus. That's right, 5-year surplus. I would do a 5-6 year surplus, 2 to 3 year slow recomposition cut. Okay, here's my inclination. So I'm gonna use the UFC as an example. Jared Cannonier as a heavyweight, and then show Jared Cannonier's current physique. So as you can see, Jared Cannonier spent most of his early career in the UFC clanging and banging weights as a heavyweight, holding all that power. Later in life, he did a cut down. I forget what weight class he's in. Andrew, throw it up. But that's how he looks, right? Kept all that tissue, slowly cut naturally, but he let that size bake on him. He progressively overload trained at that heavy of a weight forever. So I'll throw another UFC champion up, Alexander Volkanovski, at 240 pounds playing rugby versus Volkanovski at his current UFC champion physique. Has all that power, and in my opinion, he could have stopped cutting and been more shredded with more tissue, but he went to the most competitive weight class. And as a fighter who actually has had matches at weight classes, weight makes a big difference when you're opponent versus opponent. So I understand why he went to the most competitive weight class. But what I'm saying is, like, when we look at football linemen, any of these big natural dudes, how do they get that strength, that tissue? How do you build size naturally? Progressive overload of compound movements with some accessory training, but the majority of your tissue coming from the progression in volume of compound movements. You go watch football linemen. I'll have Andrew throw up a video of me and Dante. Dante's been my best friend since kindergarten. You know, I was the diabolical little fucking nerd, and he was the big lineman on the football team. When he was like in sophomore year, he was as big as the seniors in football. And he could rep 315 as a sophomore, junior, just like that. Completely natural. The reason he got to that was, number one, his genetics. Let's not play that out. He has freakazoid genetics. But number two, because he ate big, he got big, he trained progressive overload. He didn't train like a bitch in the gym. He was always the hardest working in the gym. And he worked on progressing his compound movements. And he's still, and I'll Andrew throughout the ad, he's still training for strongman nationals, doing that same scenario, and he's even bigger and thicker at 260 pounds, where I was enhanced and I can't touch him because I didn't put in that work and I don't have that genetics he has. But overall, that is the recipe to hold the most tissue naturally. A lot of people get skewed and wanting to be, you know, shredded as a natty. That's never gonna work. You need to go into a big surplus for a long period of time. You have to put in that work with compound movements, and you have to get strong as shit. You have to let that tissue, that strength, that size bake on you. And then after 4 or 5 years of a surplus, constantly lifting the same weights, you slowly go into a slight deficit. You don't starve your body. Any actual natural bodybuilder knows you cannot rush a cut. I've cut naturally before, have to go extremely slowly, have to keep that food ramped, and really you should be utilizing cardio to create that caloric deficit, trying to keep your food as high as possible. You slowly cut the fat off over a long cut where all you're focused on is maintaining your compound movement volume and doing more accessory work, trying to do the sarcoplasmic training, which is more effective toward gear users, but doing some more higher volume stuff as you come down. And that, in my opinion, is how you would create the best natural physique. It goes against enhanced physiques. You can create enhanced physique rapidly, but with a natural physique, you got to put in that hard-earned time and effort, and you got to not be afraid of putting on a little fat and getting after it with the fork and knife, right? Got to put down that food. You got to gain for a long, extended period of time, in my opinion, a half a decade, and I foresee you being able to cut down and maintain it. When you look at these elite natural physiques that everyone's like, oh, that's sus, Andrew, I don't know if he's natural or not. When you go into their backstory, and I can't think of one off the top of my head, I'm sure someone will comment down below. They always say that they were dirty bulked up for a very long period of time. They train like crazy. They slowly cut down, and now everyone accuses them of gear. Where before they looked like some fat powerlifter dude who was putting in that work, the volume, the tissue was built under the fat, similar to Jared Cannonier, and they revealed it after a long period of time. To think that you're gonna bulk as a natural for 4 months and put on this tremendous amount of tissue, it's just not the case. And a lot of people genetically aren't meant to exist around low body fats, right? If you're completely natural, most males, in my opinion, you know, they more want to be 13 to 16% body fat, actual 13 to 16% body fat. So not every natural is genetically blessed to sit at 10 to 12% body fat and be optimal. You know, personally for me, I need more food to lift like that, and I did a lot of powerlifting in my early years. But people ask me how to create the ultimate natural physique. I think you need a minimum half a decade bulk, and then once you're there with your compound movements and your progressive overload of good volume with compound movements, and you feel all that tissue under your fat, you slowly, methodically, ever so slowly cut it off while losing no strength, and you'll have one of those fake natty physiques that you want, and you can be like, I didn't use any steroids, Russo, you suck. I will see you guys in my next video.